Thank you so much, and once again, welcome to my testimony. As usual, this is a show that tries to bring you the life experience of public campus students within Kuzda Church and Kenyatta University. And once again, it is episode 5. And this far, God has been gracious unto us. And joining me in this episode is my friend, an elder of Kuzda Church, and a colleague, Elder Billy Ogare. Thank you so much. Karibu sana, Elder.
Thank you so much.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
You're doing fine.
Yes.
I'm glad to have you today.
So happy to be here.
Yeah.
Actually, I've been watching from home, or I've just been seeing this program from afar. I didn't know I could reach here. I've seen a number of them, and I can say they're a blessing.
Sure. Today we want to discuss with Elder, apart from knowing Elder and knowing who is Elder Billy Ogare, what does it take to be a serving elder in Kuzda Church, and the expectations and how to balance all these things off, being a student, being an elder, as well as other stuff of life, is also an entrepreneur and what I can term as an hustler, who brings so many aspects unto himself in this difficult situation of financial difficulties. So I'm having a lot for you to discuss today, but let us start off by knowing who is Elder Mondi Billy Ogare.
Thank you so much. By name, as you've said, my name is Billy Ogare. Omondi is my middle name, and I come from Migori County. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. I was not before back then. I became a Seventh-day Adventist in 2014. Yeah, at Form 2 when a friend invited me for a Vespers, and it is a long struggle in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. That is why I call it my church, because I've fought for it in our family. Actually, in the village, they are all not Seventh-day Adventist. Most of them, I can say, around 90% of or 95 are not Seventh-day Adventists. So it has been a difficult work. So that is who I am, and I can say I am more Christian than a hustler. I can say so. Yes. So I have been most of my time as a student I have spent in the church, and of course in the business sector also. Yeah, so I can say that's who I am. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist and also an entrepreneur. Yes.
And professionally, what do you do in KU?
Professionally, I do library and information science. When I joined the university, KU, and even when I was in high school, I wanted to do a course by the name Business Information Technology.
Wow.
BBIT, Bachelor of Business Information Technology, and I was looking at universities to do it. It was not offered in KU, it was offered in JKUAT. And then because I am somebody who is somehow enthusiastic, I always do a lot of research online, and so I was looking at, now that it's not in KU, I always wanted to come to KU because of Kuzda. I always wanted to be in church.
So you knew Kuzda before joining?
Yes. So I left that course simply because it was not offered in a place where I could be in Kuzda. So
okay, just to make me understand with our viewers.
Yes.
You wanted to do BBIT.
Yeah.
But because it was not offered in KU, you couldn't come because you loved Kuzda.
Because I love Kuzda.
And you have never been in Kuzda before?
I had never been in Kuzda before. I had watched several videos of the church choir, the ministries. Yeah, so even the testimonies and the documentaries about Kuzda. Sure. Yeah.
So how did you came to know Kuzda in the first place?
In fact, a lot of people do not know that I came here to be in Kuzda, not even to be in the university. Because when I came here, I started counting days from around 3 months. And I was saying, as we say in high school, 90 days to go, 89 days to go, up to 2 days to go. 2 days to come to Kuzda, not to join the university. That was my major reason, because I had been in bondage. I was not able to attend church. I was not able to go to church. Actually, on the Sabbath, that is when my dad gave me a lot of work. So during that time, now he has been a good man, because he has
It's
changed because of my testimony. But back then, I had never gone to church. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. I really long to go to church. Sometimes I used to go, and I would have a lot of trouble when I go back home. I would go without food, and so it was difficult for me. I wanted to come here. Actually, the best thing I wanted to do is a place where I can go to church the whole year.
You really want.
52 Sabbaths attended fully. I was really longing for that. So I was longing to join KU so that I can come to Kuzda.
Wow, that is.
Yeah, actually, when I came, the first desk I registered in was the desk which had Kuzda, the Seventh Adventist Church
when you
banner.
came to
Yeah, before I filled the other details, you are given a booklet and you go through the registration process. Because my father remained, he didn't know what I was doing inside. So I went, registered my name first under Kuzda, and then they told me I would join a ministry. I think they wrote for me PT, Present Truth. Yeah, but I picked several other flyers. And as I was here, the first place I looked for was the direction to Kuzda.
So when you were coming from home that day, you were joining KU.
Yes.
You in your heart, you are so joyful that I'm getting out of the prison. Like Kuzda was as if you are getting out of a bondage where you are not given free will to worship.
Yes, that is actually the major driving factor for me to join the university. Apart from coming to, I'm not saying I was not coming to learn. I was also very eager to perform, to pursue a course. Now that BBIT was not being offered here, I wanted to look for another business course. When I applied for Bachelor of Commerce, I didn't get it because my cluster points were a little bit lower. Yeah, so I didn't manage to do BCom. I even wrote a letter explaining to the register academics that I can do this. I have a passion in business. I can do this course very well because I have a passion in it. But I didn't consider because probably it was the system ignored because I was
so you literally sacrificed your passion in business just for the sake that you can come to KU and you can come to cause the church.
Yes.
And coming to business later on, this is peak. These are a huge sacrifice. That's a very huge sacrifice. You mentioned that you joined Adventism in 2014.
Yes.
And back in your home, including your parents, are not Adventist.
They are not.
I know it's a long story, but just to make us understand, how has life been from the time you decided, and how did you even first decided to leave? You mentioned that you were from Catholic.
I was from a Sunday worshiping church.
Sunday worshiping church.
But it is called New Apostolic Church.
New Apostolic.
Yeah.
And how did you transform to Adventism? And how did your parents accept you or reject you? How did you navigate all this until now?
The Adventist church, even if you don't have passion of being a Christian, it is just logical for anybody. Like the Adventist church is just a good church for anybody.
Sure. Yeah.
Any person who is reasoning will want to be a Seventh-day Adventist. It is only that most of them have never tried. But when I was invited by my friend to join a Vespers, actually I went because there was a blackout, so I could not read that Wednesday.
Wow, that is in high school.
Yeah, in high school there was normally when they would go for Vespers, I would be reading.
Yeah.
But now there was blackout. He told me, we will still go to Vespers, so just join me. He was my best friend, so he knew I could not disappoint him.
Yeah.
So I went, just like we invite friends
from
the university and from just our friends. So when he invited me, I went. They were singing this song by the name, There is Power, Wonder Working Power. And I was wondering how, because I was seeing the lyrics, it is P-O-W, then there's apostrophe and R. So I could not power, but I see P-O-W-R, there is no E. So I was really wondering, how are these guys singing these songs and they are really flowing and they just know. So I didn't know how to sing by then. I remember asking a friend of mine, how do you sing 10? And he told me, you just know. How do you know that? He said, that you just know. I didn't know that. So when I knew that, we are in school, but I will go back home. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist here in school, but I'll go home and I don't know how it will be. So I wanted to test my father the first Sabbath. I didn't tell him.
Just let me cut you short.
Mhm.
So what you mean is that there was a blackout.
Yeah.
In school, you lost power of ER so that you can go to Vespers and get power of UR.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I lost power of electricity to go to
Vespers and get the power of God.
Yeah. So from then, I tell you that was the next Sabbath. He also invited me, but I had made a decision that from this Sabbath I'll come back next time. And you see, decisions for good, you don't have to wait for somebody to fester you and tell you, come again, please come again. There is lunch, something which is good. You just do
once.
Yeah, once and for all.
Conviction is a once.
Yeah, I went the other Friday on Sabbath. I was there. The other Sabbath I went. I couldn't even now sing as a chorister.
Wow.
That's what I did in high school most of my time. I was a chorister singing. I didn't know how to sing. I was
but you were learning the songs.
Yeah, I was learning. And I can remember after some time in Form 4, I could now sing soprano. Yeah, I was there's another guy here in KU. Yeah, another schoolmate.
Yeah.
We were with him in high school and we were singing soprano with him. He's also called Billy.
Oh.
Yeah, it's called Billy Ogare. He's a member of Kushda and Present Truth.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So because it was a boys' school.
It was a boys' school.
So there are no ladies. So
yeah,
boys sings soprano.
The other soprano, which is
the other one.
Yeah.
So you went home with now.
I went home.
You went to school apostolic, going back home an Adventist. How
And
did
you
your parents
see,
receive you?
It is a long story that maybe we cannot say now. It is actually it's a long story, but I can just mention it was difficult. On Friday, the mood of the home could change. You see, people know that guy now wants to say he will go to church. My father would divide a lot of work. Actually, people could tell me, because there are the Catholics who are my friends and the other Sunday churches, they could, my friend, but you told me today is a Sabbath, now you are doing work. And I could cry because my father could give me 14 or up to 20 trips of sand. I would go for sand and bring them home. That is the time we could bring fundi to work at home. So it was a lot of work. It was difficult for me to go against the current. It was very difficult actually, because I could go to church at 4 a.m. in the local church. 4 a.m. I would wake up, because when 6 reaches, my father will call me and I will go to work. I would wake up literally I'm talking about the real 4. Wake up, go to church, wait for them. They would come to church at 9. So I've not taken breakfast.
4 up to 9.
Yeah, up to 9. I would wait in the church compound. Probably the church has not been opened, so I would wait in the campsite. When 9 reaches, I go to church, stay inside. I can't come back home for lunch because I will not come back in the afternoon. So when people break, I'm not used to them. There are people who take lunch in the church, but I can't do with them because they don't know me, I don't know them. Yeah. So I would go to the nearby center, just stroll, and come back in the evening. And there are many Sabbaths that I missed, and they told me, where were you? There are many Sabbaths that I worked in the morning, the whole morning hours, and went at 3. And they asked me, where were you? I would tell them I was in another church. Yeah, so that is what happened for many, many months. And there was a time, it's a long story, there's a time I attended my first camp meeting, and I was boarding in that place because I could not go back home. My parents, I cheated them. I lied to them that I'm going to a farewell party with my fellow Form 4s who finished school, and I would stay there for 1 month. I didn't know
for 1 month?
Yeah, for 1 week.
Oh, for 1 week.
I didn't know that one of my village members, who is my rival because he's a pastor in the church where I was coming from, was a watchman in this church, in the school that sponsors this church.
Yeah.
So he went and, did you know where your son is? He's actually in the camp meeting. So my father just waited for me. When I went, everybody was quiet after the camp meeting. So, people are winding up. And I don't want to go home. I just want to stay around. The camp meeting is over, but I don't want to go home. That is the experience I went through. And it is a long struggle. That is why I wanted to come to the university, so that I can be in a place where I can just attend Sabbath freely. Yeah.
Your story brings to my attention this Pastor Goya. I don't know if I've heard of him. Pavel. I read this book, the book entitled one miracle after another, and he mentions how God worked with him through a communist Romania where Adventism was not allowed, and the story relates in totally tested, weighed on the fourth commandment of the Sabbath. But now we can say that we gladly that God has been with you.
Yes, and I would want to make some disclaimer. Let
Yeah.
people not think that my father is a bad man. He's a very good man. The person who is bad here is the
Satan.
devil.
Yeah,
Satan.
yeah. No, not
Because
your
my
father.
father is a very respected man.
Sure.
Actually, I didn't expect him to do that war with me. It was a big war. None. Actually, we agreed on everything. There's a time he even told me I was not to come to the university, by the way, because he promised me if you go to church next Sabbath, you will not enroll. I will leave you. There's a time he even told me we are releasing you to go out of the family. There's one evening when I come from church, he told me we will burn your house and burn all your clothes because we are the ones supporting you and you are disappointing us because we can't show our faces in church and in funerals and in places.
So they want to disown you
Yeah.
and get you out of the home as disown you as their child.
There was a time I was planning how, you read online or you've always seen these things. Somebody reading a book how to marry with 3K. So I was reading. I almost read a book how to get to the university without fees because I knew next Sabbath I'll go to church definitely.
Yeah.
I disappointed my father several times, and I could see he's really angry. He's seeing I'm disrespect him. I'm disrespectful.
Yeah.
So he could tell me, don't go to church. I have told you, if you really respect me, don't go.
Wow.
He would come back evening, find that I went. I was the first person my father calls when he comes from somewhere. So he calls me and I'm not there. He went to church. Very annoyed.
So this is now you're being placed in a situation where you have to weigh two commandments of God.
Yeah.
Respect your parents and also keep the Sabbath. Remember to keep the Sabbath holy.
And I saw it real because one time my father called all the villagers to come and see how he's disciplining me. When I would come from church, I was passing through villages. People are following me. They want to go and see that drama. People are following behind. Okay. They remain in the fences. They want to see how I am being disciplined. The next Sabbath, they see me going to church again. They say there's drama this evening. So they just wait for me when I pass. They come and watch. And it was difficult for me.
What was the kind of discipline that your father was able to?
He could just quarrel me because now I was big. He knew that if he starts caning me, I will run away. Yeah. So he was just quarreling me and threatening to burn my house, to take all my clothes and all the benefits that he has been giving me.
But deep down, you knew that this is a spiritual war.
Yeah,
it was not a physical war.
I knew that Satan is fighting me because I could feel it. Yeah. There's a level that when you reach, you see that huyu sasa ni shetani. None. Because I could pray, my father, when I go home, I want to find my father happy. There was a time I prayed like that and I went and found my father happy. He was intending to quarrel me, but I don't know. God works miracles. Sometimes I could pray, let me go make that man not talk. And I could go and he just sing me. He's angry, but he can't tell me anything. He just
so you was all this time you are seeing the face of God fighting your battles as you watch.
Yeah, that is why I cannot leave the Seventh-day Adventist Church. No matter what people say, no matter what other people do, that is why. Because I have experienced it and it is live. I'm not lying. I'm saying something that happened to me and it is real. That fight is real. And even now, that war is still continuing. But I'm glad because recently, because of my behavior, my father began accepting you. And he said he can now, even my other two sisters and my brother, they are now Seventh-day Adventists. There is one brother of mine who was baptized 2 years ago because of me, or because he liked what I was doing. So he was also baptized. His father complained, what is this you have done to us? His father also threatened to not to pay for him school fees. He also underwent the same thing. He is now serving God like me.
Even when people talk or people go against you, but the hymn stands that for I know whom I believe it.
Yes, and they say you're just a good man, except that you are a Seventh-day Adventist.
And through you, a seed was planted to that village. And through
Exactly.
you, your sisters, your brother, even your friends in the village are getting to Seventh-day Adventist.
Yeah, and that is why I say when I invite you, because I'm planning to invite you, Kuzda, to a mission there.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that before because by that time my father could even chase you with pangas and go away. But now his heart has
Yeah.
been softened.
Soften.
So now I can invite you, and I'm sure he will be baptized also.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just because of the character you display.
Yeah, because of the character. Actually, you could see. You know, I attended by the people. Most people do not know my life before. I was a Christian, yes, but you know this thing called disco matanga.
Yeah.
I went for many years since 1999 up to 2014.
Elder 99, you were 3 years old, 2 years old. Were you
I was going because I was sleeping with my brothers. I could not be left
Leave,
and face the how do we call those people? The witches.
The witchcraft.
The wizards. I could not
The
face them
wizard,
alone,
the
so I
one
had
ran
to go.
pit at night.
Yeah, so all that time I have been in this Komatanga and doing all that. We have been struggling with my father telling me not to go. I go. Several other bad things. But when I became a Seventh-day Adventist, these things all stopped.
Changed and it's all
And he
stopped.
knew that this thing is good. If hata kama ni kama ni mzuri. So
But
he
now
began
it
saying
was
like
not
that.
Billy living, but now
Yeah.
the Christ was living in
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. That's a true
Mm.
definition of having faith in Christ.
Yeah.
And leaving everything for God to fight your battles as you take care of His business. And talking about taking
Yes.
care of God's business, when you
Mhm.
came to Kuzda,
Mhm.
I remember I never knew you, but from the stories as I was hearing that you get into the deacon department and you could even clean the entire church by yourself, one person, never complaining. And when visitors were around here, you could offer to come and stay with them. That zeal, that love of Christian service of dedication.
It comes actually from what I have told you, the experience I've gone through.
Yeah.
I was in Kuzda actually I could attend classes from the boardroom because this is where I was most of the
All the
times. When I'm free, I was not resting in these shades that are in KU or in any other place
You
or
come
in a
to Kuzda.
class. I was just here, around here, probably reading my Bible because when I came, I didn't have a Bible. Pastor Kigundu gave me a Bible. Actually,
Wow.
Pastor Kigundu is one man who has worked with me. Most people do not know. He gave me his best Bible.
Wow.
I remember that Bible had 2 versions, NIV and King James Version.
2 in 1, 2
A
versions in
big
1.
Bible, yeah, that he was only using to officiate weddings. He gave it to me, and yeah, he has been the source of my motivation, even business-wise.
Yeah.
He is the man who is behind all this inspiration about business. Yeah,
Pastor Kigundo,
yeah. I can attribute all this
to him.
to him because when I came here, he was the one who knew my story more than
Yeah.
any other person.
Sure.
He's the man who knew how I was going. Actually, there was a time I even suggested that he should call my parents. I told them don't. There was a time when I was here, my father could call me and find when I'm in church. I don't answer that call because when I answer, I will hear the sound of people singing. I would walk away and run up to behind
to
the
the
fence
gate.
and make a call. Literally, people did not know that. Yeah.
And so far, you mentioned that your parents have reached a state that they can get baptized.
Yes,
Slowly but
they
surely, they are welcoming the message
can.
home.
Slowly and surely.
Mm.
Right now, if you go and preach to my father about Seventh-day Adventists, he will listen to you very well.
But earlier on, he couldn't tolerate
He could
anything of
even
that
chase
kind.
you with a panga.
Wow.
I know him, and I know one of the reasons why he has accepted that is because of my girlfriend. You know when Petty Sharon, when we went with her
Yeah.
to home, my father had never seen such a nice lady.
And he told her,
such a respectful
only these ladies
lady.
come from Adventist.
And to his
Yeah.
surprise, he learned that this lady is from a Seventh-day Adventist. And yes, are you also a Seventh-day Adventist? And the lady said yes. And the lady also told her that this religion is so good. And my father asked me, now there's another brother of yours who has started to go to this church of yours.
Mm.
What should we do to him? And we suggested to my father, just let him go.
Don't let him go.
That church is good. And so from that point, my father has had as a positive attitude towards this church. Yeah.
God works in different ways. And you mentioned Petty Sharon
Yes.
and the impact that she has gave to your parents, the character.
Mm.
No, most ladies actually, they may not portray that character. And this is a situation that she goes to your home and your parents learn something positive out of her. As individual, we're proud of that.
Yeah, I'm proud of that.